Hello, everyone, and welcome to a video called Long Man Bad, and this is proof of it. See, everyone has a bad argument on why Long Man bad, but I have a good one. And that is, would you rather spend 10 hours watching a fat soy boy, bitch about nonsense that makes you sad and doesn't educate you at all? Or would you rather watch some bangers? So let's watch some bangers. Yeah, get that beat right in there, fucking monkey.
What if I don't want Buddhahood? Cause I thought I did, but that dude, he took a lot out of me. Back to the mountain beast, jumping through those hoops, didn't do me good. What did he hoop me to indulge a bit? Come from another door, I want all of it. You bet any loophole in which I can fit this ego, I know it's time to split. Tell me, what am I?
See, this is how you know that this is better content than Mahler's, because it's already got you hooked in with something actually entertaining, and not a morbidly obese retard bitching about nonsense.
And it's spitting him into my job apart. Cause I'm picking this up when we left the bar. And he said it quite high, call that a star. If we got up above, and beyond obeying the level I'm on, thinking not just saying. I'm a fallen apple, and I laid it far. Actually, I'm a beast, pitted it. She wasn't from the tumble.
Oh wait, actually, I have a better idea. We're gonna do this. Mud Kip, Mud Kip, 10 hours. Let's see if that actually, Mud Kip, 10 hours. This is a better video than Mahler's content.
Mudkip, the mudfish Pokemon. Mudkip uses the sensitive radar receptors on its head fin to determine what's going on around it. In a pinch, it can brandish enough power to crush rocks.
It's such a very brilliant video, right? It's just ma and hip and ma and hip and then ma and then hip, right? And it just keeps going. It's entertaining the whole time. You just listen to that the whole time for 10 hours. This is more entertaining than a Mahler video, which shows that Mahler's videos can be summed up in 2 words. Ma, hip, right? If you get anything more than ma, hip in a 10-hour Mahler video, you're not a good, entertaining YouTuber. You need to actually make your point in 2 words. Just make your point in 2 words, my guy. Be intelligent, like these mudkips, these barely sentient axolotl motherfuckers are more intelligent than an entire sphere of drama creators, right? Like the entire drama creator sphere of YouTube is just people who are emote less intelligent than these Pokemon. And you know why? Because this is entertaining. I could watch this for 10 straight hours and be entertained the entire time and not be mad at the end. That's the best part. I'm not mad at some Jewish cabal or some bullshit like that. I'm just yep. I'm I got cute Pokemon. I don't got time to be mad. And it's just so good. It gets better every single time. We're gonna keep watching this, Ma, hip, ma, hip. It just keeps going and going and going, and it's so good. It's just such good content. This is the thing. It's not the length of the content. It's the boringness of the ocean, right? It's not the length of the content. It's the motionlessness of the ocean, right? It's not the size of the sea. It's the motionlessness of the ocean. There we go. Right? As in, no one cares how big the sea is, but if the water ain't moving, you ain't going nowhere, right? That's just how it is. Mahler's content does not move. This does. You just go ma, and then hip. It's so good. It's legitimately one of the best videos on YouTube. And like this will be proof of it, right? 13 years old, 4.7 million views, and it's just 10 hours straight of Mudkip, right? You know, let me see if like Tenipe has some other like banger. Tenipe has some great bangers, by the way. This is like the OG, like you are fucking being entertained by the best nonsense you've ever seen. And you know what? We're gonna go through some even more better than Mahler content that you can spend 10 hours on. Especially the best video ever made. The Quest for the Man Whore. 10-hour song. See, if you can't make an argument in just one garble, you're not smart. You're not intelligent, right? And that's the thing. This guy's just garbling the entire video. It's just a repeat of that one gargle the whole time. But it's fun, and that's the best part. See, when I was a kid, I would legit watch these the entire way through. I would not fail to finish these when I was a kid. Because they were legitimately fun as fuck. The fact I can't sit through 5 minutes of a Mahler video should prove to you what the real issue is. See, Longman isn't bad because his content is long. Longman is bad because his content is long badly, right? Like, so if it was good content, you could just watch it and be this thing called entertained, right? See, this thing entertains you from beginning to end, literally, because it's the best part of the music video that is Sexual Lobster. You know, like, actually, speaking of that, let me do Sexual Lobster. See how he's doing, you know? Greasy Tails, yeah, fuck yeah. These are like some fucking awesome videos, right? These are the OG you know, fucking like videos everyone who was a kid watched when I was growing up. And people are like, wait. People watched a guy called Sexual Lobster when you were kids in school? And it's like, yeah, hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Everyone did. Because these were fucking awesome. You know what we also talked about, because I didn't see it, but I have so many friends. Well, some of them are probably ex-friends by now, but like so many people who were friends in like high school and middle school even, who watched this movie called Serbian Film. I could not get myself to see it, but that was school, right? Like that was how people were. And it's why I always find it funny, like everyone's like, like Libs of TikTok is so like, you know, you know, good because she fights pedophiles. I'm like, dog, like, you know, she's getting rid of all the best content in school, you know, like, imagine if we, like, cause, you know, the pedophiles were bad, right, but this, right, she wants this to go away, too, and that's where I stand against, right, if she was just against pedophiles, like, who would fucking blame her, right, like, pedophiles rape kids, they're fucking gay, you know, like, it's just disgusting, but imagine if, you know, she was anti-pedophilia, but not anti-gay or trans, and just only focused on the fact that people who molest kids are bad, and not, like, try to shove her fucking political agenda in front of everyone's faces, like, you know, like a fucking retarded soy boy cunt that she is, right? Imagine if that was the thing, and she would just let us be kids and like do the internet stuff that we did as kids, and are apparently half of us are against what we did as kids because our brains don't work or something. We don't remember being kids, using the internet, going on newgrounds.com, seeing the most fucked up shit imaginable and loving it because we were fucking kids and that's how kids were. Like, this is a funny thing. Like, everyone's like, and then like they let their kids and I mean, then when they were kids, they were like watching like Freddy Krueger molest Nancy Thompson, you know, in the 80s, right? And people were like, oh, that's not pedophilia, right? I mean, it wasn't pedophilia to show it to kids. But Freddy Krueger was a grown-ass man molesting a 16-year-old. I know she was played by like a 70-year-old woman, but you know, she's 16 in the film, right? Like the fact that she looks like she's 9,001 years old doesn't mean that she actually is. She's just played by an old lady. She's actually a 16-year-old kid. So you have a grown man tongue-kissing a 16-year-old. You know, he's tongue-kissing a minor. That's pedophilia, right? And we showed that to kids, right? And you know why we showed that to kids? Because kids weren't fucking retarded. And they aren't retarded now. But parents have gotten retarded because they watch libs of TikTok instead of pay attention to their own kids. You know, instead of paying attention to their own kids, they go on Twitter and think it's a real place. It's just disgusting. But let's watch the real video. Let's watch some real content. Yeah, Man Whore Industries. Fuck yeah. That's its title.
My love for you is wider than the widest river of yogurt. My bleeding heart is an open wound. I invite you to probe it. My tears of lust shine like the sun. Our love knows no eclipse. I will love you with the frenzy of 1,000 chips. My passion is strong, strong.
See, this is how you know. It, like, fucking passion of the man whore. You know, he's like Christ, but like cool.
Just like my schlong, your safest option is to play along. Keep your arms inside this train. Our destination is pleasure and pain. Your sentence me like mustard gas. I'll cut your name upon my ass. Your luscious curves make my blood fizz. The sight of you makes my heart jizz.
Such is my love for you that I lay a puppy on your pillow, and then I sprinkle it with chocolate. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Ducks float buoyantly on a pond of my desire, refracted in the labyrinth of my pain. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa.
See, that's good shit. You know what? Let's go on a better one, right? Let's like, you know, let's go to like some 2016 goodness, right? Like back when like everyone was like talking about politics, but still in a fun way. This isn't 2016, but like, hey, look, it's basically the same thing, you know? I love the reference that he already has, like, of how long he takes between videos, because his videos are good, and they don't suck ass, because they're not...
It's been a while since
See, this is how you know, like, this content isn't generated 9,001 videos a day by some fucking soy boy loser. This is content that takes time and effort and editing and, like, actual good, like, jokes and, you know, like, good writing and timing and you know, it takes intelligence to do this kind of video.
Loaded a show, gotta flow back into the motion.
Also, it takes you know, you have to understand like what you're talking about, which, you know, is a very important skill that a lot of YouTubers don't have. But let's continue this. Also, Wang. See, I love how like he doesn't even like you know, hide who he watches here. Fantano, Inside Gaming, Wang, Shoot on Head. You know, that the great YouTubers, unlike the people I'm talking about. You know, these guys actually edit their videos.
Schedule slow, but motherfucker, I'm a pro, yo. I'm not really in the know, though. Been out of the zone like a no-go. Mood's been flowing to and fro like a yo-yo. I guess I didn't really care about the news or the views because I'm so over. Sprawling algorithmic shit on the walls. Gossip in the halls. Did you hear about Jake Paul? 8 ball, sun corner pocket, no damn call. 8-part, what? OMG, I'm nervous, lol. Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, give me super lax talent. Put celebs at a desk, write a check. Up next, rinse, repeat. Split it into beats and wait till it's released at number 1 on the trending page. Wanna see Radcliffe look at 10-year-old memes?
Yeah, see, like, this is the funny thing. Like, there are meme channels that are actually good, and this is not one of them.
This the saddest thing you've seen on TV? I thought the internet might have finally set us free, but now it's obvious the Apple...
Also, yeah, this is the thing. Content slop used to be like a like late night TV thing only, right? Like it used to be outside of Adult Swim, which basically it was content slop, always made to make fun of the other content slop, and it did it in a cooler way that was more autistic. Like other than Adult Swim, everything at late night fucking sucked, and it still does, right? The television never got good, right, at late nights. But yeah.
Ain't far from the tree. I mean, I'd probably give a pass to Conan, a big proponent of independent showman.
Well, except for Conan O'Brien, but that was that guy like kind of like was only on late night TV for like a couple days, and then they actually did like a YouTube show with him instead, because it turned out that he's actually based. But yeah.
Late night serotonin. Does the name mean anything? Roger Zolan. But most of these late night guys are roaches, posts encroaching like a diagnosis. This site's atrocious. It ain't done till the fat one drops the hostess. But hold it, what is up? The alt-right's coming for your kids, cover up. And did you guys ever happen to see this study released by Data Society that puts a direct line from Spencer to...
Oh yeah, I do. Okay, fuck. Yeah. This is kind of fun. Or also, yeah, Chris Ray Gun to them, but then like, I do like this. Yeah. Oh yeah, I also love how everyone in here, except like I don't know, maybe Baked Alaska. I actually don't know who the fuck that is, honestly, but everyone in here has like been in jail except Chris Ray Gun, and I don't know, maybe Blonde in the... I don't fucking know who the fuck that is. But yeah, like, you got Six Hammer, like, he's in jail right now. Richard Spencer's been in prison before. Tim Pool, as far as I know, hasn't been in prison, but, like, it's like, the amount of times police show up at his fucking house, it's like, man, he might as well be in jail already. It's just, he's in a padded cell. It's just that, he can leave. But he doesn't. He just can, right? He has the right to, but he doesn't. He's already basically living the prison life, except for the fact that he's allowed to leave, right? Like, he doesn't ever. Like, he clearly, he hasn't left since the Beanie incident of 2018. But he is allowed to. So he's not technically in jail. But he's in jail, if you know what I mean, right? And then, I don't know, Andy Worski, yeah, he's been in prison before. Like, man, like, everyone besides Chris Ray Gun and maybe these two people who I haven't watched are in jail.
Well, dang, we collab where? In your sad, wet dream? Beckaloo, I'll remember you. Send me off to fight your food. You're the pretender to whom I won't have to surrender to. I've been lazy, I know. I've been lazy, but all the news...
And what's funny is everyone calls him lazy, but like he actually makes a good fucking banger when he comes back.
Loosen up, loosen up, loosen up. I've been lazy, I know. I've been lazy, but all the news lately doesn't even really pay. So hopefully everybody loosens up, loosens up, loosens up.
And this is the best part. Like, this is an actual like good fucking song, right? Like, this is a banger.
Maybe I'll make drama vids, so it hurts even worse when the karma hits. Baby, I'm anonymous. I'm immune to the pain. I'm very tolerant of literally any opinion that isn't moderate. People call me right wing. What a pipe dream. Just because I think comedy is a nice thing. And if I veer to the left even slightly, come fight me. I'm a 9 now alive.
Yeah, I always love this. It's like they'll be like, debate me, bruh, and it's like they have the debate tactic of a fucking like corporate news host. It's like, yeah, let's just get you in there and like shout at you at a zillion miles an hour. But don't worry, we have like an independent guy. But we're not going to do a real debate where like you have like 20-minute segments and a rebuttal round where you can't respond to the other person until after the first 2 rounds have gone through, because there's the initial round to make your point, then the reconstruction round, which is the second round, and then finally the rebuttal round where you actually respond to your opponent's points, because you're not actually allowed to do that in a real debate. And the reason why is because you have to actually construct your own points first, and then you can deconstruct your opponent's points. That's how a real debate works. This is something people haven't really seen in like decades, because the these guys have never actually paid attention to real debates like that you would have in like buildings, right? Physical places, like where there would be two people, there would be like a microphone that, you know, they would have to go from a podium to there. And yes, they would get exactly 20 minutes to make their points, and then that would be it. For those who don't know, if you ever looked up the name William Lane Craig or Christopher Hitchens, you would actually find what a real debate is. That, like, you know, and also how useless some of them are, but how cool they were, you know?
Same. You're a this, you're a that, you're a what, you're a sexist, bigot, or a soy boy.
Also, yeah. Cult of Dusty, I believe, and Ferengi, right? But both of these guys, I don't know. I haven't seen anything good from either of these guys, like, ever, right? You know? Like, the only even real reason I know Mauler or Ferengi exists is because Rags was on there, right? That's the only reason I even, like, know who those guys are. Rags talked about him.
What is that?
And then, like, he was with them on EFAP. And now he's apparently a host of, like, this show where, like, you know, he just loses his mind and goons all the time.
The SJWs are here, motherfucker. If I see another shitty cartoon in a tux rent.
I like this too. Okay, yeah, that's how you know he's base. He says anonymous retard. That's how you know he's base as fuck. Anyway, let's go to another like really awesome moment. Let's do "Wool Over Our Eyes" by the Stupendium. Fucking great song. Yes. You know, let's continue this train. Yeah, we're gonna go some gay shit too. You know, we gotta get some Cult of the Lamb going on. See, like anti-woke people have never seen cool shit like this. It's amazing that these guys have sat on their fucking asses bitching about how Dungeons and Dragons is satanic since the 80s, but they pretend they haven't. Until the 2020s, but they've been doing it since the 80s. They just pretend that they haven't because they want to pretend that they're not the Satanic Panic, despite talking about how the game Dungeons and Dragons doesn't adhere to their Christian beliefs. But they will pretend that it's not about Christianity. We're going to pretend that their hatred of gay people in the game and weird disability conscious and whatever is not that their religious reasons based off the Satanic Panic that's still going on from the 80s, but rather that they're the true fans who hate the gay shit that was in the air in the 80s but wasn't in there in the 80s because they don't want it to be there in the 80s because that would ruin their entire argument, but it was there in the 80s. That was the entire reason why it was involved in the Satanic Panic. You know, you get the idea. Like, it's just these guys are so fucking obviously cunts that they will invade a game like Dungeons and Dragons and expect people to not know what's up, right? Like Quartering got kicked out of Magic the Gathering, right? He got gate kept because they actually gate kept the gatekeeper, right? They're like, fuck you, you're a fucking faggot, get the fuck out of here. Get beat up by a trans woman first off, then get kicked out of her con, and never show up again, you fucking faggot.
As I skip amongst the thickets, well, just look at what I found. An innocent wee critter sitting shivering on the ground, entrapped and gagged and bound upon a sacrificial mound. Such a miserable predicament. So how'd you like the sound of a haven-come community, a vibrant congregation of waywards just like you? The fates aligned for me to save from the depraved and heathen demons and their vile abominations, enslaving feeble minds into a life of prostration. Not like my operation, not the slightest correlation. While we've dances, feasts and festivals, it's like we're on vacation. No time for contemplation. Would you like to come and take some salvation in exchange for just some light indoctrination?
See, this is how you know, like, this is a good banger. Yeah, that pact is sealed, motherfucker. With just a handshake. Just a handshake to a Russian investor will make it so your content sucks ass, but you have to make 9,000 videos just like it every single day. And then you also have to make sure that you never disagree with the 9,001 other channels peddling the same nonsense, that are all funded by the same people paying you, which are also all funded by BlackRock, which you pretend to hate because they like invested in some games that Sweet Baby Inc. also went through. And you also hate them because like they also invested in the same things Tencent did. But then you don't hate that you don't hate Black Myth Wukong, which is owned by Tencent, because Tencent isn't the problem, it's BlackRock. But Tencent owns BlackRock, but they don't. But they do because they're commies, but they don't because the commies aren't actually Chinese, they're Jewish, but they are Chinese because that's where the commies come from. And you get the idea. Like these talking points are so fucking spastic that they constantly contradict each other. That's what you're getting, right? But you're getting it with entertaining videos so that I can show you how fucking retarded these people are while entertaining you and giving you some banger fucking content from people who actually make good shit.
Welcome in, brethren, step down off the pentagram. Blessed be and bend the knee and pledge to me forever. And forget the need to question and we'll never need to reprimand. Lethargy is heresy, you're very keen to lend a hand. There's effigies to render and a temple yet to build. We've many seeds to tend to and there's earth still left to till. And every second spare you best remember to keep filled. In reverent prayer and penance, lest dissenters will be killed. Collecting up the mess until they find their crimes regrettable. All evidence says heaven's light's not likely for the skeptical. The beddings of the finest moss, the like and often edible. Now don't you think your life outside was tiresome and forgettable? Deep in the dark of the woods where secrets sleep, we serve he who waits beneath. Till this soul's devotion reap for the lamb who has the sheep. In the dark of the woods we pledge our lives, we're to say that faith is blind. Arms raised high in sacrifice, pull down wool over our eyes.
See, fucking catchy ass beat, right? That's how you know someone's entertaining. They actually make something cool as shit. Like
your donations fill the dish up past the gold plate. Every penny pays to kill the bishops of the old faith. Our benefactor waits betwixt the crippling links of old chains, tethered to the plains until the heretics are all slain. So pay the tithes and pray you might remain upon the list of all the cherished chosen children for whom love is unconditional. Your contribution's absolution for the guilt within you all. Our movement may be new, but all your sins are still original. You'll find my sermon stirring, form the circle, get your heads down. Heavy hangs the neck of any vessel of the red crown. Blessed to be the shepherd of the desperate and oppressed, now destined for ascension, now the wealthy ever left ground. So empty out your bank accounts and dance.
Yeah, see, this is banger content. Now, let's go for some more. Let's go. Let's go to Savannah XYZ. Let's get some real Bo Burnham style banger here. And let's do the original
Welcome
Bo
to
Burnham.
3D Software. Please enjoy your stay. There's so many things to do, so please let's not delay. We've got limitless features, most good, some weird, and lots of little quirky bugs that we've engineered. Welcome to 3D Software, load up and take a chance. You can make some tracer porn or watch her do the Fortnite dance. Your topology's abysmal, it's not optimized, but throw it up on Twitter and we'll call it stylized. Welcome to 3D Software, you'll never feel alone. Kit that ship from Warhammer or make the units bone. Unity, Unreal, which one do I choose? Just click on the tutorial that has the most views.
I also love that this is actually factually true. Just click on the tutorial that has the most views, motherfucker. Don't do anything else. Just actually just learn like a normal person. Anyway, let's watch the original. This is also a banger.
Welcome to the internet.
This whole album's a banger, but this is one of the best singles ever. This is proof that internet addiction can make you based, but also at the same time ruin your entire life. But we're gonna need to go through only the base segment because it actually doesn't talk about the the ruin your life part until the end, and it's also
Internet. Have a look around. Anything that brain of yours can think of can be found. We've got mountains of content, some better, some worse. If none of it's of interest to you, you'd be the first. Welcome to the internet, come and take a seat. Would you like to see the news or any famous women's feet? There's no need to panic, this isn't a test.
See, this isn't a test, my guy. Just go on and actually have fun.
Just nod or shake your head and we'll do the rest. Welcome to the internet. What would you prefer? Would you like to fight for civil rights or tweet a racial slur? Be happy, be horny, be bursting with rage.
I do all three of those at the same time. I'm a good boy, Bo Burnham.
We got a million different ways to engage.
Yeah, a million.
Welcome to the internet. Put your cares aside. Here's a tip for straining pasta. Here's a 9-year-old who died. We got movies and doctors and fantasy sports and a bunch of colored pencil drawings of all the different characters in Harry Potter fucking
See, very good content, right?
each other. Welcome to the internet. Hold on to your socks, cause a random guy just kindly sent you photos of his cock. They are grainy and off-putting. He just sent you more. Don't act surprised, you know you like it, you whore.
I do. To be fair, I do.
See a man beheaded, get offended, see a shrink. Show us pictures of your children, tell us every thought you think. Start a rumor by a...
I actually did see a man beheaded online, by the way. That fucking Nazi kid who chopped off his father's head because he thought they were an FBI agent because he's a far-right loser, you know?
Rumors and a death threat to a...
I remember that. You can also see it, like, ISIS did it too, but, like, I actually didn't see those videos. I'm sure they exist because ISIS actually does do that, you know? They're ISIS, right? But I didn't actually get to see those videos because they were all taken down before I went to look for them. But I did see the FBI loser, you know? That was funny as fuck.
Boomer or DM a girl and groomer, do a zoomer, find a tumor in your... Here's a healthy breakfast option, you should kill your mom. Here's...
It's, you know, like, you know, that's the best breakfast option ever, you know, just kill your mom, right? Like, you know, also, you know, fan-made death battle songs. Let's go here. Some Brandon Yates, yeah.
I came from outer space with a conqueror's grace. I put your pathetic little earth in its place. Green and me with my mega tumor machine. Human destruction, my ultimate scheme. From just a lonely world to a hero I turned. In my super suit, my legend was earned. Groovy and brave, I was scared. Saved today from alien scum that would make us his slave. I come from Earth to rule you entirely. Get off my planet now, you're starting to hurt me. Planets I will terminate, generate, eviscerate. I'll lay your words assault to waste. Crash it down in space. I am Sim, now bow to my whim. Eat dirt, big dumb dirt, yeah, whatever, species that will make you leave this place. Liberate and whip you back into space. In disgrace, without a trace. Invasive species, you are all beneath me. You cannot escape me now.
Fucking banger, right? Like, that's how you know this content is better than Mahler, because it's fucking awesome to watch, right? Let's watch another one. Let's watch another one from this guy, you know. This is one from, like, the actual show, by the way.
I'm sick and tired of this nonsense. Find the darkness while liquidly wrestling with my conscience. You wanna battle with the most lit? Gotta admit it was kinda scary, Bloody Mary, but no one's here. Look at you, standing in a fake tear. Well, I'm better than 88 tears. Homie, better stay clear. Rule ain't stood in any place here. All I gotta do is put juice in it. Use and erase fear. Inside, I'll ignite the lightning when we fight tonight. Everything's fine, divine energy. Who's better get used to? Who's better? See moves that'll take up the future. Who's Kessler? I'm activated, you're overrated. My conduit made it so that I'm greater than any bit of a station. Or any nation, your conversation is wasted. Place them on the table and take it back to the basement.
I'll bring you on my own. My thoughts lead to bad decisions, and I'm taking my toll. I'll trust me. Too late to find along. I'll make it someone somewhere. Between darkness and light, I can't see light. Just walking my to come clean. Maybe someone somewhere. Oh, fucking so good. But you know what's even better? Ah, Discord and Decipher. Fucking My Little Pony death battle. Also, I fucking love how, like, everyone's, like, hating on Cal Arts, and, like, one of the best death battles is literally just Cal Arts cartoons. Like, these are the definitive Cal Arts cartoons. Like, these are, like, the OGs, by the way.
A talking triangle taking me on. I'm the undisputed lord of chaos. There's no room for you. All your jokes land flat. You got a stupid hat.
And frankly, that bow tie doesn't suit you. You know.
Frankly, that bow tie doesn't suit you.
Yeah, you know, for a long man, your content just kind of really sucks. You whine about Star Wars, but you're really just a cuck. You know, like, come on, like, you know, I can do this all day. And you know what? I will. But we're going to do, like, something really badass. We're going to watch some Ice Nine Kills. This is a actual band, you know, that's fucking amazing, you know. Let's watch some. I only want to watch a bit of this, but this is like the real supreme fucking content. Dying brings me to life, like the signs that died in a pale of fire. Don't get out of line. You know, like, I'm just saying, you know, like fucking go do some fucking banger content. Also, yeah, let's look at some Ivy Come. You know, I'm just so many good like channels that you should be watching instead of these soy boy cucks who bitch about nonsense all day.
Hey, sorry, I just went back around. Your face is looking gloomy, you could use a change. Don't worry, please don't look so down. We've got a problem, I have an answer, it's a perfect exchange. A jack in the box, you're gonna pop if they keep twisting slowly. Trapped in with locks, it all can stop if you just listen closely. Wipe down what you've been told. It's your choice to be controlled. Oh, their suits aren't made for you, so maybe try on out my new worldview. Step out across the line into a world that's just like mine. Oh, ascend into divine. Perfection isn't just a state of mind. Take a long look at all the people all around you. Do they look happy?
The Ivy Come's got some bangers too. You know what also really is a banger? Divide music, but let's just go to like someone memeing. You know, like we're not gonna do this one. We're gonna do a different one. There's a better one. This is my favorite. So, you know, Mahler might, you know, try to like dunk on this video with his mental retardation powers, but I have a better superpower. See, I'm bigger. I'm better.
It's just you and me, Rick. And you are torn up. I am bigger. I am better.
I'm better than you, man.
I am bigger. I am better.
You think you have the juice? Well, I am the juice.
See, That's all the argument you need. Now here's another one. You know, like
Dun, dun, dun.
If Mahler makes a comeback, this is gonna be my response. Little pig, little pig,
Little pig, let me in. Hot, diggity dog. Diggity dog, hot diggity. This kind of thing that just tickles my balls.
You know, like that's what that is. You know, that's how I'm gonna react. That very orgasmic, this just tickles my balls kind of thing. You know, let's watch some like One Piece content. You know, let's get some real fucking shit here. Let's go. Yeah, some Fable. Yeah. The hardest part about this is I'm gonna have to like go through this at like halfway, like after it gets like to the really good part. The whole song is the good part, but the really good part, you know what I mean? You'll know what I mean when you like listen to it.
Embrace the abuse, you held the knife. You're not the person you showed us. Give me a reason, don't find a way. Been shaking my feelings while I've been chasing my fate. Get the fuck on my face, you're a disgrace. You and my family, you are my age. Got put in my place, give you all my grace. Cause everything was just a game, come back and take the blame. Can you see me now? I was so damn proud. Now you're the one with the gun pointed straight at me. I did my best. Sail away, right on time. Breaking down the walls inside my mind. Open up, we call the seas. To claim the things we knew with a broken heart.
See? Fuck yeah. You know what's up. I don't think I can really listen to some like these ones. These are fucking absolute bangers, but I don't know if like that'll like work. But hey, look, let's do some fuck. Oh man, I don't know if I'll get Kanash Corp again. We'll do it to Kanash Corp first. Yeah, we got to do Kanash Corp. We got to show you like the real like the real. tail. Yeah, motherfucker. You know, you guys would never see this shit if you were anti-woke, because you guys are so fucking soy, you fear, like, actual good content. Because actual good content is far fucking gayer than you guys could ever fucking fathom. But it's good, because that's what people want. They want the gay shit. That's why they watch it. 11 million views, motherfucker. 45 million on this one. Yeah.
She's got a fetish for fine art. Her penny sucks in an oversized sweatshirt. Yeah, she goes right to my heart. She comes a knocking with a stocking and I get her. I get the feeling I'm in deep. In trouble waters, but they're only thigh high. This kind of girl don't get no sleep. Don't wink your fighters, hit the starters, strap those garters up on my. Check a pattern on your skin. I see you flaunting, see you tumbling, it's so sickening. I can't resist the way you fled. Yeah, I should be dead, but my heart beats quickening. I get the feeling this is more. It's an excuse just to shake your little derriere. That ratio a perfect score. Girl status is measured by a denier.
You know what's coming. You know what's coming. Lie down, baby, arch your back now. Maybe you can help me get what I want. Curve your little spine and tell me that you're mine. And you know, like why can't, like, anyone on their side make this shit? You know why? Because you'd have to goon, and openly so. See, these guys goon, but not in a fun way. See, these guys are ashamed of their goonery. You need to be shameless. Like this guy. You know what? He's openly shameless. He's shameless. And Stacy's mom can join in too. Tell you what, man. I delight in being lewd. You know what? Let's teach the world the real fucking magic. Boop, bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum. Boom, ba-bum, bum, bum. Boom, ba-bum, bum, bum. Boom, ba-bum, bum, bum.
I'd like to build the world aside and furnish it with porn. Draw
hentai pics and girls with dicks and tentacles galore.
hentai pics and girls with dicks and tentacles galore. I'd like to teach the world to fact in perfect harmony. I'd like to show you dirty tunes for all eternity. I'd like to see the world for once, all standing cock in hand, and hear them jerk it far and wide, spacious throughout the land.
See, man, why can't you guys see any good content like that? You know, like, remember when content was good because it was made to entertain you and not please, like, these morbidly obese people with vaginas for lips? You know, like You know, like, oh man, imagine if content was made to please fucking losers like Az and Mahler and all these like fucking washed up celebrities like fucking Kamge Lin or whatever the fuck his his faggot ass is. You know, like that guy looks like. You know what Lin looks like? He looks like the guy who would get his ass fucked in every porno, but would be labeled like straight in the porno. Like you know, like he's one of those Asian twinks that would always be in like every locker room scene where it says 10 straight guys in a locker room. And yeah. It's funny how like I am cultured to know that 10 straight guys in a locker room is known as tags on gay Pornhub. But yeah, it's beside the point. You know, I actually listen to good shit instead of those Twitter freaks. You know, like that, because they're the ones treating Twitter like a real place. They're the Twitter freaks now. That's how it works. You guys let Elon ruin that argument for you. Now you're the Twitter freak. You take Twitter seriously, dumbasses. You even pay for it. You're Twitter verified, and you don't even know like the consequences of that. Now, who's gonna take you seriously with that blemish on you? Territory. This is like where, you know, like the real, like the best good shit came from, you know. Let's go like the ultimate brony song, you know. Let's go. Oh fucking what the fuck? Oh, what the fuck? That's not what I wanted to click. Anyway, okay, so where is it? Okay, let's see here. Yeah, Furivore. That would be great, but let's not do that one. That's for another video. No, it's actually not for another video. But like, look at this. Look, whole Devil's Potted Team Milan. Let's do like the old classic bangers for Newgrounds. These videos used to have way more views. Just so you know. Yeah, this is you guys. If you guys were not based like me, you guys won't even know what the fuck this is. Whole Devil's Potted. Like yeah, the God of War 2 theme, 2, right? You know, it's just the God of War 2 theme. But yeah. It's very good. Oh yeah, wait a minute. I think that's a song. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's go. Let's see here. It's another good one. Old friend, it's your first. Fucking man, I gotta like actually like clear some things up. I'm sure. Let's see. Yeah, right. Yeah, I fucking love Ron DeSantis Black Sun. You see my arse. Yeah, for those who don't know, Ron DeSantis like has an ad where he just shows the black sun because he's a fucking open Nazi and just has no fucking like common sense. This is Rivals 2. This is what's known as a good video game, right? It's like a Smash clone. It's very fun, you know. But like you know, let's just. Apparently watched the whole video there. I don't know if I'll get in trouble there, but anyway, See, this is like good content as well. Like, we don't have to just watch music videos. We can just watch like a guide on how to play.
So you want to learn Maple and Rivals of Ether?
Like, see, this is like educational. This is far more educational than any of these cucks could ever produce.
Too. Well, you came.
And it's about a video game, right? Like, imagine if Mentis Wave made content on video game guides instead of how to make a circular argument not seem like it's not like a legit circular argument, and how to make a non-circular argument seem circular by not defining circular argument correctly, and then pretending like you defined it correctly because you know your audience is too retarded to actually look up what begging the question fallacy actually is, which, by the way, is the definition of the circular argument. It's the begging the question fallacy, right? It's when you start with your conclusion, and then, you circle back to it, like, at any point, right? So, like, a good way to say it, the biggest circular argument is, why do we exist? Because God made us. How do we know God made us? Because God said he did. How do we know God said he did? Because he wrote a book. How do we know the book is actually written by God? Because God said he wrote the book. It's like, yeah. That, like, it's a circular argument because it just goes back to the premise that God made you already, right? And it's stupid because the premise just constantly reverses itself, right? Because, like, you don't get anywhere with that conclusion because you started with it, right? And it's the same thing. Like, he says, like, he defines, like, the subjective theory of value, because he doesn't, he calls it the subjective theory of value. It's actually called the postulate of desire, but he wants to call it the subjective theory of value because I guess using the word theory makes it sound more scientific than postulate, when postulate, it would be what because you just start with postulates, right? A postulate is by definition required to know and understand to get anywhere further in a debate, right? The problem is, of course, you don't ever end with postulates. Like, postulates are the starting point. So, subjective theory of value, or the postulate of desire, which is really what it's called, is that people will only do what they desire the most in a situation, right? So, like, a good way to say it, his argument of, like, no one would pay $1,000 for one freaking pineapple, which normally would be true, but obviously there are conditions where you can get that to happen. Maybe, you have a very low range currency where $1,000 is worth like $1 anywhere else, right? Like, here's Zimbabwe, and 1,000 Zimbabwe dollars is $1 somewhere else, right? Or you can also have, another condition is that you have a gun, right, pointing at the millionaire dude that has $1,000, and he has to, like, decide, does he want to buy one pineapple or buy 1,000 pineapples, but not get the pineapples and lose his life. And that's how the argument goes, right? Like, but it's still like, he's deciding what he wants based on the decisions. Like, it's not a theory because it doesn't explain anything, because he's just going to do what he wants the most out of any situation, right? If he doesn't value his life, maybe he'll just fight it off and, like, say, pussy ass bitch, get that gun out of my face. And maybe, like, the person doesn't want to be insulted enough that'll work, and he'll, like, get to live, and maybe, like, he'll get a reasonable price on pineapples for standing up to the person, right? We don't know all the variables. We can assume reasonably that if someone points a gun at you in order to get you to pay $1,000 for a pineapple, that it's probably best to just pay $1,000 for a pineapple. Because, even if you do somehow survive that encounter by telling them to fuck off, there's probably going to be consequences later. And, it's just best to do that, It's sort of like when you're getting mugged. Like, look, you're getting mugged. Like, you're not going to pull some jujitsu shit. You don't even have the ability to throw your gun out. They already stabbed you before this encounter went on. That's how a mugging works. They don't just, they don't just, look at you. Like, they stab you first, right? That's a mugging, right? We're talking about mugging, right? Not like a pickpocket, a mugging. They stab you, then they take your shit, and then they threaten to, kill you if you try to chase after them. At that point, like, they might already have your gun because they stabbed your ass. They can they can use your reaction to get your gun off of you that way, right? And then most muggers also do like jumping from behind, where this whole oh, I'm gonna shoot, that's not gonna happen because they already got you, motherfucker. Just you know what I mean?
Came to the right place. I've been playing Maple for years and competed at a top level in
like real life isn't like this fantasy that they have, is basically all it is.
Rivals for almost a decade now, so I kind of know what I'm talking about. Her high speed and mobility help her excel in the neutral game, and her moves all combo together to do insane stuff. If you like fast characters with a strong combo game but low survivability, this is the character for you. Maple might have the highest skill floor and highest skill ceiling on the roster, so I'll teach you everything you need to know to get up to speed. Maple has inarguably the best neutral in the entire game because of her speed and unique ways to approach or defend from the opponent. As a beginner, I'd recommend starting out by getting used to the basic mechanics of the game like wave dashing, ledge dashing, and wave landing. These things are all integral to learning any character in Rivals of Aether 2 and having full control of your character.
See, imagine if people on the right made actual content where they taught you how to play good games better, right? Imagine if that was the case. Instead, the best gaming content you'll have is Asmongold losing his mind on a boss for 5 hours instead of just learning to play the game, and getting good, and then getting mad that he has to actually use the other game mechanics he wasn't using because he wasn't learning the boss right. When in reality, why are you limiting the things you do in the game anyway? What, your fucking audience? Well, who the fuck cares? If your audience wants you to suffer, get a new audience. Just make better make content they don't like so they go away, and you're still having fun with the game. That's what I would do. That's what any rational person would do. This is YouTube. You cultivate your audience, right? So if I want, if it's my content, right, it's my channel, I can cultivate my audience by making different content that these guys don't like anymore, so they'll stop watching that, and then then people who like the new stuff will be less toxic to me and let me play the game how I want. In which case, I won't have to listen to people backseat game in my fucking audience. I'll just have people who actually like to watch me play and listen to my personality, let me play the fucking game, right? But they never do that because they want the maximum size audience instead of a good audience, right? A good audience that actually likes your content instead of an audience that's literally frothing at the mouth for you to suffer at the hands of the final boss of Shadow of the Erd Tree for 5 fucking days. Okay, yeah, I'm just saying, yeah. Oh yeah, let's do Magic the No. Let's do some other some Windows Movie Maker content.
Zeke is just too easy. Basically, a person can just go around to every single spot a person could hide, check them, and then immediately they'll eventually find somebody. Let's fix it. Step 1, remove all the places to hide. Step 2, blind the contestants. Okay, stick with me here. Now, every place is a place to hide. So basically, all the players will just be randomly moving around until they hit each other, in which case, it's a tag, and then that person's it, and the game can keep going. Note, if any of the players say they hate the game or that they aren't having fun, don't listen to them, they don't understand. Enjoy the video. Wait.
By the way, Magic the No is, the entire shtick is that he makes games, just out of his ass in Windows Movie Maker. Doesn't explain jack shit to it the people playing, and just has them figure it out as they go along. It's such good content. He has better videos than this, but all his videos are this, and it's so good, right? Oh yeah, here's another one. Here's another good guy. Here's the other thing. Not all of these guys are necessarily completely anti-woke, right? I mean, completely woke, right? Either the point of it isn't that they're woke or anti-woke. The point is that these are real people who make real content, which is really a banger. And we're gonna show you
Let Yagami was
one
born.
of these bangers. This guy isn't woke, I would say. He's not really anti-woke, I would say, either. Because you can't really be anti-woke and make good content. It's just impossible. You can be not woke, but not anti-woke. It's kind of weird, right? But basically, he's if you do the Twitter leftist argument, He'll call you like retarded or whatever. He'll insult you like for the moron you are, just like he would for like a right wing schizo doing the same thing, obviously. But like he makes banger videos, like this one on Death Note, right?
On February 28, 1986. Being Japanese, his name is written using the kanji for moon, but read as light. The reason that the meaning of his name is different from the way that it was written is because the Japanese language started as just a spoken language, then later adopted written characters from Old Chinese, and both the Anyomi, the Chinese readings, and the Kunyomi, the Japanese readings, were retained. When a person's name has an atypical pronunciation like this, it's known in Japanese as a Kira name, which is very ironic, because light would eventually be referred to by the nickname Kira, which is the Japanese pronunciation of the word killer. The Japanese language is kind of a combination of old spoken Japanese mangled together with old Chinese and foreign words imported from other languages.
Now, to be fair, I haven't watched this particular video, and I don't want to spoil myself watching this because, the whole point is like showing content I already watched. But like, he is like a fantastic like YouTuber. CZ's World, I should say. Just banger content and just in general. Pointless Hub's also pretty good for a video essayist. Yeah. Also, this is one thing I always find funny, right? Like Silent Hill 2, right?
Silent Hill
is the best game ever, right? Like ever made. Like not really, but like it's a good game. But like people got mad at like the Bloober team, right? For trying to like live up to the standard of this game. Right? Like no, everyone knew they weren't gonna like meet the exact expectations, but they got pretty close, and people are mad that a much like weaker studio than the Silent team got close to Team Silent's original masterpiece and had a better, like, it's not really a good PC port still, sadly, but a better PC port of like their game, at least like now it's like able to fucking run, than the Konami did before, because the Konami didn't hire Team Silent to do the ports, because they never really hired the original team, because there's a port team, right, to like a lot of these games. But anyway, they just had like this asinine port, and like it's such a bad fucking PC port. Like you gotta play it on emulator if you're gonna witness like the original masterpiece. But like this is a fantastic game. It's basically anything I say about like the plot to explain it will literally ruin the point of the game, right? It's like really the problem with it. Like you can't explain the game without kind of explaining the plot of the game, right? But if you explain the plot of the game, you ruin the point of experiencing the game, which makes the game worse, but it's still good, but it's objectively just worse. See, you really, the problem with Silent Hill two video essays really is that they explain Silent Hill 2, and that like ruins Silent Hill 2. This is a good video, but like I would rather watch like one on the worst Silent Hills, right? Like this one, I think it's like Silent Hill 7 or 6. It's one of the two, right? A much worse game. I wouldn't say like it's a bad game. I would just say like it's a mid game, right? Which is bad for Silent Hill at the time. Well, yeah. But still, also 1408, yeah. But this is the thing, like. These videos are just great, but not all of them are like, like something I think should really be watched before you play. Like this is something you should watch after you play the game, right? But there's a reason I'm not explaining, even though I'm pretty sure a lot of people know already the plot, and it's like the one person who doesn't know, I'm not ruining for him, because you really, like, you have to play this game before you watch a video explaining it. It's like weird, like, yeah. Anyway, it's just, these are what I love, right? Good fucking content. I watch this, but like you should not watch it. It's a good way to say it. Now, let's just like watch some more better than Mahler content. Let's watch the Krampus movie. Just Krampus. Yeah, Krampus, let's not watch the whole Krampus movie. But, like, this is another good thing. Also, see World High going on Krampus as well, you know. Let's do Mick Gordon. Yeah, you know, Mick Gordon. Let's like listen to some Mick Gordon soundtracks. You know, Rip and Tear. The only thing they fear is you. But how about we do one that like a lot of people might not talk about, but is fucking god tier. Hiseko. Yeah, Hiseko. You can't tell me that's not like an awesome. By the way, the point of the lyrics, like you notice that there's always like constant repeating. So notice that repeat. So the point of the repeats is like, okay, so there's a lore bit, right? So in Japan, Onryu cannot repeat words. And so here's the thing. Hiseko isn't fully an Onryu yet, right? She's kind of partially still human. And the constant repeating of words is like moshi moshi. Moshi means hello, right? But they say moshi moshi because humans can repeat it and ghosts can't, right? So they say moshi moshi, right? Because it's repeating it so you know they're human, right? And so like that's kind of like why they do that, right? And so like Hiseko is doing this to remind herself that she's still human. She is still human. This ghost character is still human. She is fighting for her humanity as she's fighting these battles in the fighting game. It's so fucking good. Like this lore is so god tier when I found it. It's like one of the comments that like talked about this because I don't know much about Shintoism, right? Yeah. But like yeah, see it even like tells you like moshi moshi, right? That's just like one of the most common like phrases, but like yeah. So like basically they can't say the exact same word twice in a row is like what it's basically going here, right, with yokai. But yeah. So basically, yeah, like she's retaining her humanity. So this is like, this fight is not even like you're struggling against Hiseko. This is Hiseko battling like her like death, like her dealing with death because she's struggling to retain what little humanity she has left. It's so fucking good. It's a fucking god tier song, right? And you know when like a song really gets you pumped for like a character when the lyrics of the song drop a fucking major lore dump on the characters like in like emotions and interactions and stuff that you would even know like just look like be able to figure out like on your own, right? Like, oh, that's why there's always that constant repeat. She's fighting for her humanity. Whoa, right? Like, that's when you know, like, like something is a fucking absolute banger. When you have to, like, when you learn actual, like, Shintoism culture. This is the funny thing, like, you notice how, like, a lot of people are, like, complaining about, like, that temple in, the temple in Assassin's Creed Shadows, right? Now, obviously, I don't think this game is going to be good. It's an Ubisoft game who hasn't made a good game in a while, right? But like the problem I have with it really, like with like the thing is like they're talking about how like there's one of these on like I think the figures, right, where it's like half of one, right? And they bring up like this is the most dog shit take. They bring up the one in Nagasaki that wasn't like rebuilt after it was broken, because like apparently like they can't imagine a state where someone else would break one, right? And they're saying it's disrespectful to like talk about the one that's in Nagasaki that only hasn't been rebuilt because it's a reminder of Nagasaki, right? And they're saying like that's where they got the idea from. Even the one in Nagasaki is painted white with the ashes of the dead, and this one is brown in the thing, right? It's brown in the thing. And it is disrespectful, but the reason it's disrespectful is it's a destroyed religious temple, right? These are temples. These little like jars that they have at the bottom of these things are to pray to Kami, right? Like it's sort of like, you know how like in Chinese culture you have Yaguai, or like, you know, people like Wukong and like the Qilin and stuff like that, the Long, right? And all that, right? Like the dragons and all that, right? Well, in reality, right? In reality, these temples, right, are basically like praying to, like, it's not the Yagwei, because Yagwei are like demons, right? So like the Yagwei would be like the equivalent to like Kitsune and stuff like that in Japan, right? But like you have like Kami means like stuff like, you know, like the Jade Empire. I just forget what like the term for like their the gods are, right? But anyway, those would be Kami, right? Kami are basically like gods, but they're not really gods. Like Buddha is like the ultimate god, right? Like Buddhas are the real gods, right? Buddhas are gods, right? And then there's something below them in the Jade Empire, which, you know, we commonly refer to as gods that aren't gods. Same with Yaguai are demons, but they aren't really demons, you know, just kind of like demonic, like they're like animal spirits, right? But they're not really like demons, right? Not all of them are evil. Some of them even have their own books, like Journey to the West, right? But like that's kind of like the lore, right? It's like Kami are not gods, which is kind of like weird with like a lot of people talking about anime, not knowing anything about Shintoism. But like Kami are like the guys below the Buddha in their like cosmology of deities, right? So they're not gods, but they're like kind of gods, but they're like right below them, right? That's a Kami. But like you would pray to them, right, in like these things, right? And so it's still disrespectful to have a one pole like temple, right? Because you have to destroy the temple to do it. They always have two for a reason. I don't know the reason for it. Like, I'm not a big Shinto guy, but I know that like you're not supposed to have just one, right? And so it's a destroyed temple. But they're talking about it like it's a reference to the nukes, when in reality it's just a destroyed temple. Now you could argue, like, you know, they shouldn't have a destroyed temple. Like, they didn't even have it in any of the other promotion materials. It's weird to have a destroyed religious temple in a fucking promotional piece of a game that is all about like kind of like religious intersectionalism and all that anyway. Like, it's like, oh yes, the game about a war between religions, right? It has a broken temple behind the hero's back, and the temple represents the native religion of the people. That's offensive as fuck. But it has nothing to do with Nagasaki, right? Like, I don't have to make shit up to get offended by it. I don't have to make up this conspiracy. I could just be like, yo, they fucking blew up my gods. Fuck you, right? Like, that's fucking creepy, right? But I don't have to make shit up to like talk about that. You know what I mean? I could just say, hey, look, that's fucking offensive that you just destroyed their equivalent of like a mosque or a church or like a synagogue, right? Like, imagine if this was like, if this guy like stood in front of a half like broken down synagogue, right? Or like church or mosque, everyone would fuck yes. And that's like really the problem. But like no one wants to make that argument, because then they'd have to acknowledge that what it really is that they're disrespect to Shintoism, right? And not that it's just disrespectful to Japan, which is apparently all one culture and religion, and not Shintoism, which is what the culture that it's actually disrespectful to, right? But that's kind of the thing. Obviously, a lot of Japan is based off of Japanese culture is based off of Shintoism, but It's not the same thing, I guess is a good way to say it, right? Also, Warframe, yeah, I like a good game too. Like, now, my thing about Warframe is like the gameplay isn't that great, but
Introducing
and it's because
Kome, our 58th Warframe.
This is the funny thing. Like, everyone's like, Stellar Blade sucks because it's a Gunner game. No, Stellar Blade fucking rocks. Like, it's even got better gameplay than this. But I don't
Ice
know,
Maiden
it has one chick to goon to. This has like
Kome we
and half of them have like thicker ass cheeks. You know,
Fate.
Like let's compare like Wisp ass, right? Let's show like some Wisp Warframe booty, right? Thick, yeah, like it is like proof that Stellar Blade is, you know, it's not like all that shit, you know. It's the ultimate dump truck prime experience. Fuck it. Yeah, see, this is like real Gunner shit. Let's actually watch this.
Oh, what up, homie? Nothing much. I hear that. What we gonna do at the function tonight? Oh, there gonna be ladies there.
Thick as fuck.
For real? Now, hold on. Now, who is that little mama right there? Oh, she looking good. Oh, look at them mountains. Oh, she winked at you. Oh, yeah, she did. Oh, hold on, little mama, come here.
And yeah, that's how big her fucking ass cheeks are in the game. It's just a robot chick. But then, like, you know, we're supposed to simp for Eve from Stellar Blade, right? We're supposed to simp for this bullshit. Like look at it. Like, everyone's like talking about. I fucking love this. We don't even get like anything like see, but like, look at this. Her ass is smaller. Her ass is smaller. You guys are gooning to this fucking twig. Like, that is not an ass. I mean, it is, but like, it's not an ass in comparison to Wisp, right? Like, Wisp, that's her actual ass, just so you know. That's her actual ass, like, length. Like, if we look at, like, this is her actual fucking thighs. She is fucking thick as shit. Or actually, see, like, yeah, like, I'm just trying to find it. Like, in-game, thick as fuck. Like, her hips are wider. Her ass cheeks are bigger. Fucking yes, do that, fucking Stellar Blade devs. Get your fucking Gunner shit together and make those ass cheeks clap at every fucking step. Give me the fucking ass I deserve, and not the ass like Gotham needs right now. But anyway, yeah, like, this is like, this is why people love this game. See, this is the thing. Like, everyone's like, everything's the Warframe killer. The closest thing a game got to Warframe killing is this, right? This just came out. And the only reason it's doing, like, it's actually doing worse than Warframe right now, but it's still a good game. But, like, look, they got the goods. Like, I think these are, like, cosplayers. Oh no, these are like the models.
Rage, money, power, and
that's how you know that people like your game. When they just like the game devs just basically give you like fucking Gunner shit for free, right? And that's really what it's like. Every good thing about like a lot of like these free to play MMOs is Gunner shit, right? But like, it's like very weird because there was a controversy, or I should say a non-controversy at one point, where people talked shit about this game, right? Right, you know, they talk shit about this game, where everyone who actually plays it has this thing known as fun, and that's the thing.
Hello,
people
friends.
Just like playing
Lovers,
games
it's Alien,
that are
and it's been a
good.
long
And so like they're all playing like these fucking banger games.
5
right?
months, hasn't it? But we're finally here. We got the new major content update pretty soon. In case you
This
missed
is a
it,
guy talking about an update.
the
right?
game.
And like it's got it's got 10 hours, 20,000 views, just talking about like the features of a game, right? Well, you know, let's like, you know, we've talked about how entertainment is better, and like gaming content is better. Let's talk about how educational content is better, not watching right-wing soy boys. Let's talk about Benny Box. Let's see if he's still alive. I don't know if this guy's still alive, but he was at one point, right? This is, he's not the best tutorial guy, but he was like a fucking banger for a while, right? So this guy like made an entire game engine like in Java, like kind of thing. Like this was like just a fucking series where he just did like the math and in Java and all that, just teaching you how to do some cool but awesome shit, you know, in Java. They're like all this cool shit, right? You just learn all this cool shit. And you can use this in like your actual like experience. And you know, we're gonna go even further. We're gonna go to yeah, maybe libjdx. Let's see if this guy. Oh, that's just like the library. That's right. But yeah, little game devs here, and I always find this funny. People are shitting on Godot because people who don't make games notice that Godot like, you know, is gay as fuck and blocked all of them, and they were mad that they blocked people who never used their software in the first place because they were retarded on the internet. And you know, Godot's like, hey, look, we like our brain cells, and so they blocked every single person who associated with these fucking losers. And notice, they lost nothing. And people are still like big mad that they lost nothing. Some like retard like made a fucking fork, and that fork died. Godot is dead. Like, it's not really dead because you can't kill a fork, but you know, you get what I mean. Like, it's fucking, there's no one, because the point of it is, right? Oh yeah, let's watch some Chibi-Doki. Let's watch some brain rot too. Like, you know, some brain rot, right? But anyway, let's like watch like the new Boston, right? Let's watch some new Boston. Like, let's learn some C++, you know? Back before this guy was a crypto shitso guy. You know what? Maybe I don't want to learn like, you know, because maybe like I'm more artistic. I don't want to learn all this computer science stuff. Let's watch Proco, right? Let's watch some Proco, right? Now, you know, we want
choosing the right type
videos. We want to learn some art, right? Let's learn the anatomy of a foot. Oh wait, actually, of the neck. Watch the anatomy of the neck, right? Now, this is gonna like fry the brains of every single right-wing schizo retard imaginable, because they're gonna learn basic anatomy isn't how like this magic thing where like body parts are completely removed in like outside the genitalia parts in men and women. In reality, what you're gonna learn is just things are slightly different. See, this guy actually teaches you actual science about like anatomy, just so you can paint pictures of your furry porno better.
Hey, I'm Stan Prokopenko, and this is Proco. Last time, we learned that the trapezius makes the back wall of the neck. But what the neck is all this stuff over here? Let's swing over to the front and explore the rest of the neck. There are a lot of small muscles in the neck that pop out when the neck tenses and moves around. We'll go over 10 muscles in the premium lesson. In this video, I'll focus on the 2 muscles that affect the surface the most, along with some bones and cartilage. Bones and cartilage.
Oh yeah, he starts with bones and cartilage because you actually do have to start with them.
As always, anatomy starts with the bones. Note that the spine inserts on the back of the skull, completely behind the jaw. The throat sits in front of the spine, making up for half the width of the neck. The mandible, or jawbone, will be an important attachment point today. So will the hook of the mastoid process behind it. You can easily feel the mastoid process on your own head. It's the hard, bony area on the back of the skull just behind the bottom of your ear. Some neck muscles attach to the clavicles. Remember that there's a small gap between the clavicles where the manubrium sits, about 1 eyeball wide, before they flow out into that Cupid's bow shape. And where is that music coming from? Here we see the Adam's apple, also known as the thyroid cartilage, that surrounds and protects the voice box. It sits just behind the hyoid bone, in front of the spine and esophagus and all that, but behind the muscular wall of the neck. The Adam's apple is larger and has a 90-degree angle on men, but women actually have one too. Eve's apple is just a more open 120-degree angle, so it's less noticeable. There's another cartilage called the cricoid cartilage.
See, that's the funny thing. They talk about how the Adam's apple is like a big thing. In reality, all people have an Adam's apple. It came with being a human being with a throat, right? And this is why old women have what's known as turkey garble, right? Some women get surgery when they get over 60. But have you ever heard of turkey garble syndrome? It's basically when you get old as shit and your neck starts to droop out because the thyroid cartilage starts to thin a bit, and you just get that fucking big ass Adam's apple in everyone who's old as shit. And some women get surgery to remove it, but that's a thing that happens. It's called being old, right? And some women don't like reminding themselves that they are old, so they get that removed. But that's a thing. When you get old, you get that Adam's apple stops being so small on a woman, right? It actually tends to get bigger on women because of the way fat works and stuff, right? There's more fat deposits on women than men. That's why they appear more curvy in certain areas, even when there's no bone structure to really enforce that. Obviously, the hips and waist, they have wider hips and a thinner rib cage, which is why their obliques tend to go in more than men, because they actually do, right? They attach at the hips, and then they insert, they originate from the hips and they insert into the rib cage. So if the rib cage is thinner than the hips, they will go inward rather than more straight, right? Like they do it with men. And that's what that happens, right? It's not really some magic mumbo jumbo bullshit. They're just attaching to the exact same spots, but the exact same places on the body, but the bones are in different places, right? But that also means that in the rare condition a woman is born with thinner hips or a wider rib cage, it doesn't really look as effeminate, right? Unless there's those fat pads. But those fat pads eventually go away, right? With age, right? It takes a while. But if you have a woman with more masculine bone structure, which happens obviously rarely, but can happen, you can have a 60-year-old woman who looks like a man. And this is what happened with Einstein's wife, right? She's just a fucking this 70-year-old woman who looks like a 90-year-old man. It's fucking creepy as fuck. But yeah, anyway, this is why a lot of transphobes are just fucking retarded, by the way, as well, obviously, because they do this thing with Michelle Obama all the time. It's dog, she's just old. That's all it is. She's old and she's ugly. Oh yeah, here's another good meme, right? We get good memes all the time, right? We get good memes all the time. You see no Buddha because you think no Buddha, right? And imagine if Mahler had to compete with this guy, this little fucking fat baby man kid thing That's like a trillion-year-old god. Like it's like the ultimate like Shotokan, right? Like it's like I'm secretly a trillion years old, motherfucker, even though I look like a baby, right? Like this is like literally like everyone's like their 6,000-year-old dragon. This is that, right? The 3 trillion-year-old like fucking like baby man. I fucking love that. Like, I don't think he's actually like a baby in Chinese culture, by the way. I think it's just like a form he takes because like he like is like kind of like a troll, right? He's known as the laughing Buddha as well as the Buddha of the future, right? And it's just like a fucking like I think he legit just takes this form to troll people, right? Because he is a troll throughout the entire game. Like, it's one of those, like, it's a ha-ha, he's funny troll and not a, oh, man, this guy actually fucking pissed me off troll, right? Like, this guy's, like, you enjoy being trolled by him, right? But like, he is clearly just a piece of shit. Like, just shitting around, right? He's just shitting around, he's just joking around. He's not being serious at all the entire game. But it's like funny as fuck because this is like the form he takes, and it's like, my god, dude, like you were just like being like a legit ass right now. But like it's basically like literally the ultimate Shotokan, right? Like he's like, you know, you got your 9,000-year-old dragon nest lolly. I'll be a trillion-year-old fucking Buddha baby. Just, yeah. Let's see. Let's go to some more like good content creators. Let's go to like a real old one, Ego Raptor, right? You know, Ego Raptor is hated now, right? But you know what's really funny? He's only hated because like he has like a fucking gaming channel where like he got lazy, right? Like if he stopped getting lazy and being like a worthless like retard. Like, this shit is a fucking banger. Also, like, he's got, like, even made bangers even after Game Grumps for a bit. Also, fucking, lightsaber. Yeah, like, he made a lot of bangers. But let's go to, like probably, my favorite, OG banger, right? My favorite OG banger. Where is it? You know? Oh man, it's not on YouTube. Wait, did he put it on YouTube later? Right? Because remember, this was made when it was like he first started the channel. So there's a chance. Well, yeah, we'll do Resident Awesome 4. This is also a good one. You can
Resident Awesome 4.
Inventory.
That should do it. God, that took me what, like an hour? Oh, damn it. Okay, I just need to use some. Aw, fucking hell. Hey, there's this little wall on my way I could easily jump over, but it's not giving me, like, the jump over it command. What should I do? Oh, you have to go around it and find the key. What? Fuck. Was that the thing from Ski Free?
The Awesome series was created by Ego Raptor for new.
Yeah, it's like clearly like just references to other things and all that. But hey, look, it's funny, you know. Like, honestly, that's like less funny than some of this other stuff. Obviously, like I have had far less fun with that. Like watching it again, to be honest. I thought I would have had a lot more fun than that, but you know, it's not like it's bad content. It's just like, you know, I think like what it really comes down to, I grew out of that one. There is better brain rot content from like that era, though. To be fair, it's Cactar, yeah, Cactar and Tonberry, yeah. Anyone remember these things? Yeah. It's just like it's literally just like a sarcastic, like a sarcastic Tonberry and an asshole Cactar, you know? Let's see. I think it was like the holiday special or something. Oh yeah, Resident Cactar. Here we go. Here we go. All I knew about Final
What
Fantasy
now?
is these guys
You
were
saw
like,
it
when
with
they
your
first
very
played,
own
like,
eyes. I beat it on heavy.
Wow, you beat the title screen on heavy.
Humna, what's this? 5 o'clock? You know what time it is.
5 o'clock?
No. Well, yeah.
Cactar, you're not even wearing a watch.
Clubbing at Walmart.
We do need a TV after that whole remote incident.
Ah! Smallville's on! Tonberry, how do I change the channel?
The remote, you moron!
Use a remote mine, you know? That's clearly... To be fair, with the Final Fantasy series, that actually, it doesn't make...
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. It's time to dance in my big saggy pants.
Can't touch this.
Break it down.
Stop. Hammer time.
The Beta, Beta, Omega, and Frat Boys are here.
Actually, I'm sure those are more like zombies.
Zombies? Those are like dark, creeping figures. Man, last time I ran into some of those, it wasn't so pretty.
Hey, we're Aerosmith.
Can I have an autograph?
What is your name?
Cactuar.
Here you go.
Oh, hello, this is awesome. Wait a second! You spelled my name wrong! The U goes before the A! Curse you, Aerosmith! Curse you! Looks like we're surrounded.
What's this? 6 o'clock? You know what time it is.
Tonberry, you're not even wearing a watch.
Doinking time!
Unfortunately, the doinking doesn't work. You have to resort to...
Censorship!
Haven't done that since middle school.
But, you know, it's gonna date it a bit, but it shouldn't really date it at all, because it legit is still a fact, but here we go.
Be nicer.
That's way too many zombies. We won't be able to take them all on.
I've got an idea. No one can beat Resident Evil.
Like, it is true. No one can beat Resident Evil 4 cosplay. But, like, they also put Tonberry...
For cosplay?
Why am I a girl?
I find it funny, like, people got mad that that they made him look old as fuck, saying that he can't be 20 years old. But if you actually look at the symptoms for this disease known as progeria, right? One of them is dwarfism, and the other is dying at 20 and looking like you're 80 because you died of old age at 20. Right? It's progeria. He just has progeria. So he's dying at 20, and that's why, of old age, that's why he's old and wrinkly as fuck. Because that's what progeria does, right? So, like, I love that they did that with the remake, because it's like, he is an old man, and only 20 years old at the same time, right? I thought that was like a brilliant fucking design. But people don't know about like obscure diseases, obviously, because they're obscure and extremely rare, right? Like, I think the only time I heard of progeria before Resident Evil 4 Remake was like that trailer for Hazbin Hotel. Anyway, yeah, it ends with like a Beavis thing, and there's this Silent Hill like scene and all that. But you know, you gotta watch these yourself. You know, I'm not gonna show you the whole thing. You gotta actually, you know, get in. You actually gotta like get into this, right? I'm not gonna show you the whole thing. I want you to watch it and also be entertained, right? Well, like this content, right? This is the other thing. Like, it's not even really like right-wing content I hate. It's this culture war bullshit, right? Because this is far better right-wing content than any of those fucking soy boys. Because you know what?
Shotguns are based. Combat rifles are also based. So what would you get if you took a combat rifle, made it a pump action, and added a pump action shotgun underneath it? You'd end up with this. The Crossfire Mark I. It takes the best part of a combat rifle and removes it all to make it an over-under hybrid with a pump-action shotgun. Why would you do this? F if I know. But today we're going to take a look at this cursed relic from the assault weapons ban to determine how bad does it suck.
See, imagine if any of these, like, soy boys did that shit, you know? They'd fucking crap themselves because, like, they'd have to, like, wield an actual fucking gun and, you know, like, you know, because then, you know, what it would do? It would remind them that in all the video games they've ever played, they would be on the other end of that thing. like it's funny, like these guys are like doing Nazi conspiracy theories, right, while playing first-person shooters. You know, the genre which started with the game where at the very end of it you kill Hitler. Right, like you kill a revived Hitler. Like, it's basically like Wolfenstein 3D was made because of that, like John Carmack basically looked at World War II and was like pissed off because he was like Angstrom Levy. He was a brilliant, though because of this. He said, "Look, I will not settle for Hitler killing himself. You think I revived him to fucking because I wanted him to still be alive? No, I revived him because I want to do it myself. I will not suffer to do anything but watch his eyes close for the last time again with my own bare hands." That was John Carmack's vision, and it was a fucking banger, right? That's what happens in Wolfenstein, 3D. It's God tier. But people forgot that video games are good, I guess, Also, yeah, Resident Evil 8, Yeah, let's actually watch this a bit,
As Resident Evil 8, or RE Village, was releasing, the hype surrounding this mysterious title was growing. It grew to such unreal heights that the game seemed to be...
I love what she did there in the first 10 seconds. Because she referencing, the 9'6" vampire lady. And yes, those 6 inches do matter.
solely advertised on how large one of the title's antagonists was. With this confidently installed, larger-than-life outlook reigning supreme, the game would release to larger-than-life praise and critical success. Village was a game I enjoyed a lot, but only played once for review. I never really felt comfortable with my initial assessment on this wild title. I'm a little annoyed at some of the things I misread or got wrong on week 1, but I'm so happy that I get to do another re-examination on this show-stopping action horror parade. I played this game a ton after release, so much so that
to be fair, what I think most people were disappointed with was the fact that it's not really like scary at all like the 7th game was, which is honestly the best game for like the horror aspect. Like Resident Evil 7, like if you want a horror game, is objectively the best that series is gonna get, right? And I always loved the people hated it because it didn't have zombies or too much enemy variety, which the second part was actually a good complaint. The first one, I don't fucking care. Like Resident Evil was never about zombies. It was about like global pharmaceutical enterprise Umbrella being a fucking dickhead, right? The zombies were like a thing in the game, but the villain was always Umbrella. And because they're like a pharmaceutical company, you can always have newer villains and newer base monsters. It didn't ever actually really change from that, right? That's the one thing about Resident Evil that I applaud that remained consistent throughout the entire thing. The consistency to tie everything to Umbrella or Wesker in some way. They always did. The games have never strayed from that. That is one consistent aspect they've had through all the highs and lows. Is Umbrella is the bad guy, you know, and like they all have to somehow tie to Spencer or Wesker somehow, right? And yeah, well, I guess Spencer, because Wesker ties to Spencer. So if you tie to Wesker, you tie to Spencer anyway, right? Also, I think like the only one that didn't really directly tie to Umbrella anyway was Revelations 2, which is still like tying to Wesker. Like it's Wesker's like cousin or something, sister or something like that. Like, what's weird is it takes place after RE5, because here's the weird part. There's a line in RE5 which says Albert Wesker is the only surviving Wesker child, right? But then this game takes place after RE5, which kind of debunks Oswald Spencer on the whole idea that Albert Wesker is the only living Wesker child, when there's a still living Wesker child who isn't dead. I digress at that point, but it's true. Albert Wesker, like his sister, should have been dead at that point, right? Now I'm like just an observant fanboy who loves the shit out of these games. You can notice that like kind of like very like off, like randomly. No one would ever see this normally in their entire existence and see like that's really like a plot hole, right? And no one really it doesn't really hurt the game series, right? Like it's a plot hole, but no one really cares, right? Like, we'll just say like he only meant the male children. There was a woman child that like still lived. I don't fucking care, right? Because like they did say that there was only like Wesker was the only survivor, right? And it was like the project was literally called the Wesker Children, right? Which also implies that Wesker was never human, which is kind of dope. Like the villain of like the first game and Code Veronica, like the main like one you actually like kind of interact with, and RE5, right? Isn't just like some guy. Like he's physically like a creature that they made and was always like this creature, right? Like, so he kind of knew the Tyrant couldn't really kill him because he was always kind of like an experiment from the get-go, which is kind of dope, right? And it kind of explains like why he was so willing to be killed by the Tyrant, to prove his like point and stuff, right? Because in the original game, like obviously there's none of that. Like we don't even like see really any evidence of Wesker being alive until Code Veronica. Like there is, to be fair, there is a like a version of the scene in like the original game where like after you come back, Wester's corpse will be gone, right? But to be fair, most of the corpses disappear after you leave and come back. So I don't really know why people think that's cooking when it happens to every monster, but it does happen to his corpse. Now, in the remake, it's obvious like what happens, right? Because if you go back in the remake, I believe the Tyrant's corpse is still there, but his isn't. Which, you know, obviously at that point, Code Veronica is already like made and out and playable, so that's why. But yeah, that's kind of the thing. And also, like, he's fun as fuck to play as in Umbrella Chronicles. You know, just like shameless plug. I am a Capcom fanboy, right? By the way, like I have played every fucking Resident Evil game known to man. Like under the sun, except for the really awful, disgusting piece of shit that isn't a Resident Evil game, that has nothing to do with Resident Evil, that everyone like will always remember as the biggest piece of dog shit ever made, like forever and ever and ever and ever until the end of time, which is this big piece of disgusting filth known as like Umbrella Core, right? This disgusting turd reminded me that there are some things worse than Mahler's content. You know? Like, it's just a disgusting bad game, right? Like, people are talking about Concord. This, man, like... Okay. I'm gonna go off the cuff here and actually, like, explain like actual bad content, right? So, you know, at Concord, like everyone looks like shit, but you can kind of like make fun of them for it, so it kind of like gives you entertaining just for that. Like, it's not a lot, and it's not enough to warrant buying the game, but you know, if it was free, I could kind of like see like myself playing it a little bit just to make fun of the designs, right? And then like immediately logging off and never playing again. But Umbrella Core, the characters aren't really ugly. They're not hot. They're just not ugly either, right? It's so bland and uninteresting, right? A good way to say it, like, imagine if you had like all those character designs just as like keep them as horrendously ugly. But like get rid of the color vomit that kind of like makes it a little over the top. And just like make them like plain looking, right? And then you'd have like the character designs of this game, and it is such a fucking disgusting mess, right? There is nothing of value in this game at all. And it's a Capcom game, which normally would be a banger, but this is one Capcom game I cannot defend, right? There is no defending this game. It is utterly dog shit. It is completely like wasteful of your time. I only got it because it was included with a bundle that included a lot of better games that I actually do play. And that's really what it came down to, right? I got it in a humble bundle where it was a shit stain in a mountain of gold, right? I was like, okay, like I got the DMC remake, which is actually a good game. It's just like worse than like any of the good Devil May Cry games, but it's better than 2. And you know, it's good, right? It's fun. It plays better than 1, but it's worse than like in some aspects on like the story and stuff. Than like 1, 3, and 5 and 4, right? Like the good games. But it's not really bad. It's more like, you know, like in comparison. But like the gameplay's pretty banger. The soundtrack's dope. You know, it's a Devil May Cry game that's expected. But like, you know, and everything else that came in the demo, I think it was like a Resident Evil like PC game too. There's like so many good games came out of this. And then I got the biggest piece of shit stain on me. But I knew I couldn't give it away because no one would have wanted it. And I didn't want to just have my value stolen from me, even though I think it's worthless and it's actually inherent, like especially now, is an inherent stain on my Steam library. It's like a curse, right? Like it's just infecting the Steam library. But I paid $5 and for a bundle and got like 6 great games with this shit stain. So I didn't really mind. But I'm just saying that there's a reason I owned it and played it. And it was not because I wanted to play the game. Like, it is so fucking awful. And the thing, people are like, games are bad now. Like, this is what people are talking about bad now, right? It is just like a troll. If a troll wrote like a like if someone like made one of the what's it really called? Like the adventure game company, I forgot, the Telltale, right? If someone made a Telltale game to troll people, right? This would be Dustborn. Like, it's not a good game. I will never play it, but I can see the value in this, right? That's how bad Umbrella Corps is, right? And like I'm saying, Capcom, a studio I love, made this game years ago, right? But not years ago like Resident Evil 6 years ago, where they were kind of like doing another bad, very shitty phase. But like in the, like I think this was right after Resident Evil 7 release, when they were doing good shit again. This is just such a shit stain, right? It's just such a shit stain. I am emphasizing how disgusting this turd was, because it was legitimately just a pile of shit. And that was a thing that I paid money for, because while I will admit I did pay money for like the other games that were in there, which were actually worth like at least $5, like, you know, but like they were worth more than that. But like, hey, look, $5 for like, you know, like just DMC Devil May Cry alone, $5 was not that bad, right? But I paid like $5 and I got this whole bundle, and there was all but one of those games was fun, right? Like, you know, good is subjective, fun is subjective, but like, you know, it's like you can objectively measure an individual's fun, right? Like you can look at someone and tell they're having fun, right? But like this is so bad. Like, this is why like I find it funny. Like, people are like, the gaming's so much worse than it was. No, gaming's like basically the same. Like AAA has always had like every studio goes through their ups and their down times, right? And like this has always been the case. The only thing that's different really is that people are acting like it's a constant. Like, you make a bad game now and people are like, I hate you forever, I'm gonna boycott you, and like fucking pissing your pants. That's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Like, he's just like bitching about pronouns in a fucking Elder Scrolls game. You know, like my guy, you know, like you know, first grade English is in fact required to pass the character creator. Yes. Why do you think that's a good criticism? Like, that the game requires you to pass first grade. It's an RPG. You're not 6. These aren't complex issues. You're a fucking retard. You know, like get a fucking better argument, man. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, let's go back to some bangers though. Like, let's go back to, like, well, all these are bangers, really. Let's face it. And really, what it comes down to is I just don't want to like watch too much content on this video. But like a lot of these are great, right? And yeah, I just don't really see why we should, you know, like dignify non-tent creators as content creators, right? If you make non-tent, like, leave, right? Like, this is YouTube, not a soy boy army of like vaguely safe edgy cunts pretending that we're the safe edgy ones because we say the N word and they don't, apparently. Like, that's apparently why we're the safe edge lords, because we will actually occasionally say something that can actually, like, have consequences somewhat, right? But they will literally, like, the biggest, like, edge moment of what it was the quartering is he would say white supremacy, like, he would, like, emphasize the H. And like in a mocking tone. But all it ended up doing, like, was kind of like mimic Doug Walker making fun of someone. But the thing is, Doug Walker was actually funny, and like that's what like quartering doesn't get. Kind of mocking someone by saying whammon and white supremacist isn't funny unless you actually, like, have something to go with it, right? Now, Doug Walker would have, like, killed, like, that, like, kind of line, right? Because he actually knows how to make a joke. But the quartering doesn't. Like, he's just a guy who fanboyed off of a much better content creator that doesn't know why his content was way better than he could ever fathom to, like, strive for. And that's, like, all it really comes down to, right? And really what it comes down to is, why would I rather watch Mahler or would I rather watch AVGN, right? That's what it really comes down to. Would I rather watch Mahler or would I rather watch AVGN? If I had the choice between Mahler and, like, anything else, I would rather have a copy of Umbrella Corps maul my eyes out so the last thing I see is that piece of shit game, and then saw my testicles off, and then, like, feed them to, like, a fucking, like, orangutan, right? Which will be telekinetically linked so that every time it bites my balls, I feel the pain somehow. And then it will literally chop off my toes individually, piggy by piggy, right? And then as it does that disgusting thing that it's doing, it's going to peel my skin off with, like, a potato peeler. Just slowly, layer by layer, just get every bit of skin off me. And then it will individually, like, break every single bone in my fingers, right? Which are like a quarter of the bones in your body, by the way, right? So it's most of them, like, at this point, because I've already lost the toes and, all that. And then they would just break my fucking coccyx bone, right? Like, they would just literally, like, tear my coccyx to shreds, and then pour a raccoon in there. And then after they pour this raccoon at my, like, disembodied asshole, they would use a fucking rotting flame of death and destruction made of thermetic materials, so the raccoon would fucking burrow in there and take a shit inside my fucking asshole. And, like, all that, all while I down a beer made out of the poison of, Concord, like, graphics. And all of that is what I would rather do than watch Mahler's content. And I am saying Mahler because I don't want to dignify too many of these, like, schizoids. And it's funny to pretend they're all Mahler, because they're all clones of Mahler. Although Mahler is, like, way better than, like, Geeks and Gamers or any of those other schizos, and Mahler has actually made good content before. Honestly, this is more of an insult of all the clones of Mahler than Mahler himself, but it's still funny to just pretend they're all Mahler. Like, they're all clones of him. Like, we might as well pretend they're all him, right? Like, they're all, like, just cloned from his DNA. But, like, it's like every clone is worse than the other, because, like, in cloning, right? Like the DNA goes stale, right? Which is why instead of a man, like a vaguely obese man like Mahler, you get a morbidly obese woman bitching about pronouns. And, like, she hates the fact that Starfield has her as a black woman instead of a fat, like, white dude in the game, right? Because that's what it really comes down to. Az is mad that the character he interacts with last is a clone of a once beloved channel, you know, or soldier. Soldier. I'm sorry. A once beloved soldier that through like genetic splicing was a woman, but also like has this thing she has to live up to that she will never be able to actually live up to because she's pathetic and a loser. And like it's funny, like the game is making fun of DEI hires, right? Like the game is literally insulting the concept of a diversity hire in front of their fucking faces. And they're mad and calling it a DEI game. I mean, this is like poetic, isn't it, right? The game is literally agreeing with them and they're mad at it. Like, because literally the plot of the character, they're like, oh, they're but like the plot of the character, because she's not trans, first off, she's a clone with XX chromosomes instead of XY from someone who had XY, so they had both, so you could just take like 2 cells and do that, right? That's how it works, you know? Like a clone, you know, isn't just exactly the same DNA. It's like a combination of 2 different cells. And with a man, you know, you have more variety because there's X and there's Y. Whereas with a woman, there's just X, right? And like most of the variation of humans is in the sex chromosomes, because really we shouldn't just call them the sex chromosomes because they do a lot more than just sex. Like only half the fucking things in your DNA are in there, like that differentiate you as an individual person, are in these. But like, I get, like, I mean, they do like because the shape of them is for your sex, right? Like XX is like when like one, like the second one, of each, like, because they're basically like 4 parts, right? Each one of them. In XX, the X is when the chromosome pairs, the chromosome tubes, like merge into each other and they're both the same size. And Y is when they merge with each other at the same point, but one of them's smaller, right? So it only like really goes halfway, and so it makes a Y shape instead. And it's literally like what the terms X and Y are, by the way. Like, we didn't make them up, that's the shape they are. But only in humans, which is why like you might hear the term like M and O for like fish, right? And like with like certain forms of fungi, you'll see all kinds of fucking names. Because, you know, there's different ones for different species, right? And like that's really what it comes down to. Like XX and XY are not really universal because not every species has them, but you are like your sex is decided by your chromosomes. Like that is a thing, right? Some people don't like that in the trans community. I don't care. Like we're talking about biology, right? Not like a psychology, which is where like trans would be really. Like the biology portion of transness is more pharmacology and anatomy anyway, right? But yeah, like, see, I actually know this shit. Like, I'm actually educated, which is funny enough, right? I could actually fucking, like, destroy a lot of these people on this shit because I actually know what a protein chain is. Which, you know, like, a lot of them would, like, a good way to say it, I know enough about biology to know that these guys would fail before they got to the chapter they say I failed at. Because they say I fail at chapter 11, which is when sex chromosomes are introduced and talked about. The first 10 chapters, they talk about evolution and, you know, they talk about, like, biodiversity and all that, right? They talk about, like, the environment is, like, actually, like, part of it. Like, this is the thing. These guys would fail before they got to like the fucking like pronoun chromosomes anyway. I would fucking like destroy them on a test because they're already failing before they get to my part that they allege I fail at. Right? And it's just funny because they've never taken a biology class. Like a lot of these guys are either didn't pay attention in school or they were homeschooled, right? They don't know what biology class looks like. They would fail immediately if they actually had to take one. But they forgot about that, right? Yeah. But then again, it's sort of like my interactions on because I've talked about in a lot of stuff. But anyway. Yeah, what the fuck, John Trent? Okay, let me see what this is about. This is probably a joke.
So in the latest JonTron video, and normally I'm a huge fan of JonTron, but he really messed up this time. He pulls out a box with a few items, and he says the first one is a Doom shareware disc. Now, I don't know if you know this, Doom 2 didn't have shareware. Doom 2 came out as a full game that you had to buy the entire thing all at once. JonTron, get your shit together. Get your facts straight.
Yeah, I do this. Oh, yeah. See, this is what I love. Like, when someone got canceled a while ago, like, they'll reference, like, that in to make it a joke about, like, how stupid it was, right? Because JonTron really got canceled because he said something retarded on a debate with Destiny. No one really cared. They just, he said the N-word once, so we're mad. It's the same thing with, PewDiePie, right? This is why I hate that they got canceled, because these guys are actually funny, right? Now, to be fair, JonTron still makes content, right? And this is the funniest thing. People are like, why don't they get Count Dankula or JonTron on, Sidescrollers? And, my fucking reaction on that is, why would JonTron waste his time with those assholes, right? JonTron is legit far above any of those guys because he doesn't get involved in this bullshit culture war, right? Now, the culture war involved him. He didn't involve the culture war. This is the difference between someone like JonTron or Brandon Herrera and the quartering and shit, right? JonTron and Brandon Herrera are just god tier content creators. And it's like Angry Berwick, right?
The angry video.
Of course, it's weird sometimes because it's a local thing. Go back. Give me the Ricky Berwick video. There we go.
The angry video game nerd video games are the worst games I ever played. It's like a Mega Man clone. I can't stand them. I can't stand them.
Oh, yeah. Is that right? Is that right?
It is.
Yeah?
It is.
Yeah?
Make better games.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
What?
Okay, I will then.
What?
All right.
Okay, all right.
All right.
I fucking love that. Like the gimmick kind of is Ricky Berwick pushes buttons and angry video game nerd is angry all the time. But I love how they pull your leg a bit. And then they show you that they don't actually hate each other. And this is a thing with a lot of Ricky Berwick videos is he's very much a shitster. But it's just to troll and have good fun, right? People get mad at him, but then they'll ignore actual fucking Nazis. Yeah. There are people who've called Ricky Berwick a Nazi. And then associated him with Nick Fuentes and shit. I'm like, dog, this guy is so much better. You know why? Look, this guy actually has a legit mental and physical conditions tampering him. And you know what he said? Fuck you, reality. I'm gonna whoop your ass in Mortal Kombat, right? That's what he's.
So wait, what's your name? What's your name?
He does this every year.
What's your name?
My name's Pepper.
What's your name?
Big Spear.
I love it. I love furries. Hell yeah. Fucking furries. So wait, what's your...
So for those who don't know, Ricky Berwick doesn't give a shit either way, right? He's just having fun. He does this every year, by the way, which makes it pretty obvious that he doesn't actually hate furries. But there's a little bit of a joke there. It's sort of like the Flash Gits. Flash Gits are furries. I don't know if Ricky Berwick is a furry or just friendly with them, right? But Flash Gits are legit furries, right? And people are like, what? They, every single time they find out, right? everyone's like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, they're furries, right? The entire like point of them is like basically saying furries will never be accepted because we're too like into gay shit and stuff. But like this is also like the coolest shit ever, so we're gonna make like the hate on furry content anyway because it's funny as fuck, right? And like people will literally see their content like exploring too much furry fandom's content to not be a furry, right? Like this is the funny thing, right? Like they literally tell you they're a furry in their first Warhammer 40k video. They reference a little too many things, right? Like to actually not be furries. And like, you know, most people have figured it out. And which is why like a lot of their fandoms have like icons like mine, right? It's like, yeah, like most people aren't actually anti like most furries don't even like actually like give a shit if you're anti-furry, right? Like in like your like jokes, right? It's more like when you're serious that people care about it, right? Another thing, right? Also, you know, a lot of furries love like porn, right? And what's the best like humiliation porn? And what's the best kind of humiliation porn that furry can make? Oh yeah, one where we all get killed and brutally slaughtered, but like it's in in a gory, brutal, but somehow sexy way, right? That's literally what Flash gets. It's literally mocking anti-furries by saying the only time furries will ever win, I mean anti-furries will ever truly win, is in a cartoon made by furries where like the joke is that like half the people who are furries are probably getting off to it. Like it's like so good. But people like just somehow like don't get the blatantly obvious joke there until like later. They always get it eventually, right? They always get it eventually, right? It's like too much to not, you know. But yeah, I'm talking about furries. Anti-furries are just like literally like kids. Like there's not really an adult anti-furry. And people are like, well, what about Libs of TikTok though? Well, here's the thing. I said adult. I meant adult-minded person, right? Libs of TikTok is a person who runs a school and is doing everything in her power to not actually increase the value of education in her district that she runs, but insult people who are different because like that gets her likes on Twitter, and she likes having likes on Twitter. I don't know what to say like more of it, right? She's like that's all it really gets down to. She hates furries, not because she actually hates furries, but because if she didn't hate on furries or gay people or whatever, she'd have to actually do her job. And then like, you know, she might actually have to actually care about people to get elected, right? Because this is the thing, like a lot of people know this, like Brendan Herrera isn't the only YouTuber politician. He's just the only good one, right? He's the only one that actually like makes good content. Libs of TikTok is also a politician. She works at the Oklahoma Board of Education. She is a politician who works at the high level of school zones, right, in Oklahoma. She actually has power to decide the fate of your kids, right? And instead of using it to like, you know, like the funny thing is instead of using it to like just get rid of the things she's saying are bad, she would rather grift on like it to a toxic incessantry instead of get rid. It's sort of like JD Vance talking about like the people in the state he runs like the immigrants coming from Haiti, right? That's your state. 10th Amendment, motherfucker. Why aren't you fixing that shit? That's what I would do if I still lived there, right? I would be asking him, yo, you fucking millennial, self-hating millennial fucking ass, JD Vance, why aren't you deporting them if you run the state and can deport them? And, you're saying that Democrats are bringing them in, but you're a Republican governor who runs the state and you're letting them in. So then you're the reason they're being let in. So why are you letting them in if you don't like them? And this is where it literally crumbles. He's letting them in because he wants to get him and Trump elected, but he's not actually doing his job, right? It's sort of like the whole build a wall situation, right? Trump doesn't even have power for that, right? That's Texas, that's Arizona, that's California, who actually has one. By the way, California has a wall on its southern border, but all these other states don't. Normally, people with brains would be like, why can't we get one, right? And they would complain to their state government because it's an individual state's right to make it because it's their own borders, right? But instead of doing the logical decision of using their brains and demanding that the people they elected to do the thing they elected them to do for, they'll just vote for them mindlessly and complain that it's not being done at the federal level when it's still a states' rights issue, and the federal government literally couldn't even involve themselves in it because it's a state border anyway, right? Like what, do you want them to build a wall around the border of the country, which is still the border of you, so they can't really build there unless Mexico built? Like, that's the thing, Mexico themselves would have to build it, right? Which is, Trump kind of, alluded to that, but, clearly that wasn't going to happen, right? If Mexico doesn't want to build it, they're not going to build it. You can't make a country do something without violent force, but if we did that, we'd fucking, waste too much money and no one would fucking support that, right? No one would support war with Mexico. But that's kind of what that would take, unless you just build it on your own borders, because it's your own fucking state and you get to choose how things like that go. But Texas isn't doing that. Arizona isn't doing that. California is, and they're the ones getting shit on for not allowing it, I guess, for some reason. Why are Californians having to worry about you? The thing is, California doesn't want to fund it. But that's, to be fair, the thing, right? California is where most of the economy is. So in reality, Texas isn't not doing it because they don't want to. They're doing it because they don't have the money to, and they need California to pay them to do it. But California isn't going to pay them to do it because they don't actually give a shit. They're like, we got $1 jillion, motherfucker. You got a $5 economy. The U.S. runs on California, which is the funniest shit of people complaining about California, right? As a serious note, because California is the U.S. economy. The United States would both cease to be capitalist and cease to have money if California actually seceded from the Union. We'd have New York money, but that's still nothing compared to California money. And people on the right forget about that, there are industries, but whereas multi-billion-dollar industries exist in other states, kind of, multi-trillion-dollar industries are born in California every fucking year. There are new multi-trillion-dollar industries born in California that didn't even exist last year. There are new multi-trillion-dollar industries that were created within the last year in California. Not in any other state, just California. And that should show you where the innovation is, where the techs are, right? And that's why all the people like bow to them, because that's where the money is. Why would we go to like? Why would anyone like from Japan or like Algeria or wherever, right, go to like fucking Florida for advice? Florida is worth shit. Like it is literally worth pennies compared to California. That's why they go to the place like California. It's got money. That's all it comes down to. People aren't bowing to California. They're bowing to money, and money exists there and doesn't exist elsewhere. That's all it is. Now, it might eventually not exist there, right? But you gotta remember, like, all the times, like, how many things about, like, American value come from California? Like, we got the California gold rush of 1849, right? We've got all our oil rigs that are still running. Apparently, all of them are in California, even though they say like they aren't running. They're making noise, motherfucker. But then like Texas and Alaska will pretend they're the oil capital, but then they don't actually run their machines because they do what the government tells them to. Whereas California's just like, fuck you, we got money, right? Like, that's really what it comes down to. California has so much people with fuck you money, they will literally ban oil fracking and do it anyway. Like, we'll ban it and then we'll do it ourselves. It's like, goddamn, dude, you guys got played. But they don't realize it, right? Because, you know, obviously California does kind of rule all that. But they rule all that because they allowed them to, right? Like, dog, you could just run it anyway like every other state, right? Like, why don't you do that? Like, just do it. Just do it. If you don't like the law, protest the law. Do the thing the law is against. That's how it works. That's called protesting the law. You know, it's sort of like the Rosa Parks thing. Like, that's a good protest, right? You don't like that you can't sit in the front of the bus, so you just sit there. Like, yeah, it's that easy. You don't need to do any violence or burn down cities. You just sit there. And you're like, well, they'll arrest you. Who the fuck cares? They'll arrest you eventually anyway. Just sit there. What's the worst you're going to do? They're going to do that anyway. So sit there. There you go. That's how it works. Like, you know, and that's like what got people to like really like start to fight back, because it's really legit. All she did was sit there. She sat there, and that was it. They told her not to, so she sat there. That's a protest, right? The law is worthless. It doesn't benefit anyone. I don't like it, so I'm going to break it, right? And as long as it's not really hurting anyone, because it's literally a dumb law, like it's like the Pennsylvania soup laws, right? Or like against slurp soup, right? Like, I just literally would go to Pennsylvania and like get like the biggest can of SpaghettiOs or chicken noodle or whatever, right? And slurp the shit out of it if I was in like the 1800s. That's what I would fucking do, because that's a dumbass law, right? You know, I'd be like, yo, fuck you. Right? Like, I do that. I just piss them off because that's how, like, fucking lame those laws are. But that's a thing, right? Those are laws, and like, there's laws like that in many states. And that's how you protest them. You just, like, do them. The fuck cares? Like, you got jaywalking laws. Well, I got feet. Fuck you. Right? Like, you know, and eventually people all start doing it and people stop caring, right? And as long as, like, the law is literally prohibiting you from doing a harmless action, you should do it, right? Like, you're protesting a law that is worthless. But people in Texas don't get that, because they're like, well, we want to follow the law. Like, the godless heathens don't follow the law. We want to follow the law. Like, you know, we got to, like, follow God's commandments that say don't have anal sex, but all our politicians have anal sex anyway, but we don't want it, right? You know, there's something like, I don't really care, right? You don't have to have anal sex, but that's more of a joke on Christians saying, but God commanded. I don't fucking care what God commanded me to do. That's an argument from authority, dumbass. Hey, God can command these nuts to that's funny. I will literally say that, if God commands me to do something, he better have a good reason for it, right? That's the thing. I can go by most of the Bible's commandments because there is a good reason for that. Don't murder. Okay, well, don't unjustly kill someone in cold blood. Okay, well, you shouldn't do that, right? Don't steal from people. Or, okay, yeah, good on you, right? Don't lie to people in order to get them in trouble. That's what bearing false witness actually means. It's not just lying, but basically in court you lie to get someone in trouble or yourself out of it. That's called bearing false witness, right? It is bad. Yeah, you shouldn't snitch, and you also shouldn't make shit up to you shouldn't do things like that. You shouldn't defame people. Okay, good. There we go. And yes, people saying, but you're calling Mueller a retard and his content is dog shit. I said defaming, right? We're talking about bearing false witness, right? Not speaking objective facts that are uncomfortable for him and his audience, right? There's a difference. There's levels to this. The defamation has to be untrue. This is true defamation. I'm defaming him with facts and logic, because defaming isn't actually the problem. It's, at least in the U.S., in Japan or whatever. There's another story in some Asian countries where you can defame someone with true statements and still get in trouble. But in the U.S., we only get in trouble if the defamatory statement is actually false, right? Which makes sense. We're founded, their First Amendment case that Benjamin Franklin did, the case that became the basis for the reason for freedom of the press and religion and all that, was a case with Benjamin Franklin where a guy was insulting a king with correct information, but the king didn't like what he was saying, even though it was true about him, because he didn't want people to realize he's a fucking piece of shit. And so that was a court case. And the ruling that Benjamin Franklin gave was that nobody should suffer consequences for stating facts, basically, right? And yeah, that's literally why the First Amendment was made. A literal court case on an issue Count Dankula style, which is why I defend Count Dankula, right? That's a guy who's actually, first off, he makes good content too. This is the thing. Notice how all the ones who make good content will aren't homophobic or transphobic or whatever. You'll never have a Melanie Mac style channel make a banger Count Dankula's Booty Warrior video, right? You'll never have that because she can't. She physically isn't capable of doing it. The best we'll get is Butter Slut Bitch, right? Which she won't make anymore. She'll kind of allude to it with that Stick of Butter by Laura Croft, but she thinks that's a good legacy to have. I'm the discount 2 girls 1 cup chick. I'm okay, yeah, you are the girl from the Freakout video that was made after the 2 girls 1 cup, that is objectively more boring and less freaky. There's no shock value in what you did. You just ate butter. And yes, I know it caused her health problems, and she actually went to the hospital twice over her obsession with eating butter and salty foods and not drinking water. But that's not my problem. Right? That's literally her problem, right? It's like she is so obsessed with like all this bullshit that she is killing herself. She is literally pulling what everyone was like dunking on Nikocado Avocado for, but she's not as fat, so people don't care. People don't care that she's dehydrating herself to death on the right because she's doing it for money, right? Because she's doing it in a way where she doesn't get morbidly obese. That's why I don't really like care about like the anti-body positivity movement either, right? Like I don't like being too fat is bad, right? Being too skinny is also bad. But it's like the thing is she's not even too fat or too skinny. She's just eating so poorly that she's killing herself from like the weirdest way to kill yourself, right? Like this is literally shit you would see on like 1,000 Ways to Die. Of like the dumbest shit people died from. Like that's a Melanie Mac like hospital visit right there. Right? Like what the fuck is wrong with you? Like drink water and stop eating butter and salty food. Like do something. You know? But she doesn't. And she's been in the hospital twice for it, right? Yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird as hell, right? She's weird, right? She literally, preaches about a religion where her sin would be marked on her flesh, right? She has tattoos, and she like praises like the Bible and like the Old Testament especially. Like she's like, oh, I'm such like into the fundamentalist Old Testament, like it let law prevail, all that, and she's got tattoos on. It is the fakest shit ever. Like you just want to say the word faggot. Like, let's get real. You're not a Christian. You're a slut who wants to say the word faggot. I can get behind it, but just admit that. You're not a Christian. You just like to say the word faggot. Like, look, there's more lesbians that would probably appreciate you if you just admitted the facts here. Like, just saying. You look like a hot goth chick anyway. A lot of lesbians would want to bone that. Just saying. This is. Maybe that's what it is. She needs to get laid by and that's it. Like, just get laid and she'll be fine. It's sort of like everyone was like, I remember everyone was like insulting Chris Ray Gun for quote going more left wing because he started insulting the right more after he dated like Lacey Green a bit, and people were like, he's just like the pussy got him. I'm like, dog, the pussy got everyone, right? Pussy is that good, right? Literally the plot of Half-Baked, the ending, right, is that the guy quits drugs because even though he loves weed, he doesn't love it as much as he loves pussy, right? And that's really the thing. Like, say for like the quartering and stuff, a lot of these guys just need pussy. Let's face it. A lot of these guys just need some pussy. Like the aristocratic utensil, what's his name? Fucking synthetic man. Just get some pussy. Just get some pussy, man. God. You can get some pussy too. I'm tranny. I'll be your girlfriend if you want. Not really y'all two, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'll be open to one of you. Probably not any of the ones I mentioned, but eventually, I might find someone who's just a little soy boy, worshiping some bullshit red pill shit. And eventually I just find someone who is literally clearly a mentally challenged homosexual in denial, and I'll just be like, yo, look, I'm a chick, I have a massive dick, let's fuck and get rid of that hate boner, replace it with a better one. Yeah, replace that hate boner with a less hateful one. There we go. Get that love boner out. Yeah. Jerk that shit. Enjoy the cum drizzling out of that one. Yeah. You like that, don't you, bitch? And that's really what it will come down to. The world will heal from all this boring bullshit when we just admit that having dicks cum is hot. And people like having that happen. And so we should just let that happen more again. And stop denying, the drooling dick cum demons of good stuff from happening. Anyway, I'm done.